Now, from the University of Okoboji, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee.
Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. I'm Jeff Thee. We're here at the Dickinson County Museum. It is History Wednesday, and I've got the director of the Dickinson County Museum, Dreier's, here with me. And well, there was a comedian who used to say, "Here's your sign."
And here's our sign.
Here's our sign. Yeah.
Here's our sign, Jeff.
We're talking about resorts.
Yes.
That were here in the Iowa Great Lakes, and people of a certain generation go, "Oh yeah, we used to stay with our family," and another generation go, "I never heard of that."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Let me share just a little bit about when I was a kid. We would vacation here.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, I didn't grow up living here.
Right.
But we came every week, 4th of July week, and we stayed at Vacation Village.
Yeah.
In cabin 3E.
Ooh.
I probably told you about that before. But it was the coolest thing because other families would come the same week every year, and we would be best friends for a week.
Yeah.
We might be in contact a little bit over the year, but then we'd be best friends again the next year. And it was a mom and pop sort of thing. We'd go to the dining hall occasionally to eat, or we'd fix our own food. We would hang out at the beach all day long.
Yes.
We'd watch the Queen come and go. We would dance the hokey pokey on Wednesday nights during Family Fun Night.
Oh, they had family fun.
Night. We would build sandcastles for the sandcastle contest. We'd do fishing contests. We would do swimming contests. We did it all, and it was just magnificent.
And for those who don't know where Vacation Village is, if you know where Village West is now, that was Vacation Village.
Only it looked very different back in, when I was a kid. The cabins were little square white buildings, and they had concrete floors, and they had wooden furniture. It was very cool. No insulation, no heating, no nothing. They did have bathrooms.
Yeah.
It was just a glorious place to be a kid. And there were many glorious places around the lakes back in the day.
Right.
There were kind of two boom periods for mom and pop resorts. One was in the early 20s when people started coming to the lakes area to vacation and didn't necessarily own a cottage of their own, but they came to these little mom and pop resorts to stay. It didn't cost a whole lot.
Right.
Not a whole lot of amenities. You made your own fun. You probably spent most of the day out in a boat catching your supper. Kids might have played. There was probably a beach. Nothing fancy about the cabins at all.
Right.
But I've got a map here. This map is from post-war, probably around 1950 or so.
Okay.
There are about 100 different resorts at that time around the lake. And many of the names are ones that you wouldn't necessarily recognize. The Vestergaard Resort on West Lake.
Right.
Holiday Villa, the Palace Motel, Maddox Cabins, the Park Kittyland, well, probably at the park.
Yeah, right.
Miller's North Shore Cottages, Moritz Cottages, G's Cottages, Gregerson's Resort. That I happen to know that that's where the Ritz is now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just about a gazillion.
Now,
the Max Sheely Cabins.
There are a couple I do, of course, Pick's Cottages.
Which is still here.
Yes,
One
it
of the
is.
few that mom and pop resorts that is still here.
Yeah, that's right. And good old Girk's Resort is on here.
Did you ever stay at Girk's?
Every year.
Tell me about Girk's.
Oh, same thing. And we were there on weekends. We had one of those little trailers, teardrop type trailers, brought it over from Algona. And we'd be there on weekends. And I would get up probably 4:30 in the morning to be the first to get on the trampolines they had there at Girk's Resort, and you know, and then you're on for a while, and you got 100 kids looking at you. All right, I'll get off here for a while. And they had a little store there. You can go in and buy candy, and then great beach on West Lake Okoboji.
It was a fabulous beach.
Yes. And so it was just wonderful memories. And same thing, there'd be people vacationing either the same week or there every weekend, and you just couldn't wait to see each other.
Right. It was like long lost friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was driving up. I remember, the closer we got to Okoboji when I was a kid, I could almost smell the water.
Yeah.
And driving into Vacation Village, I could still see the hello sign. I thought I died and gone to heaven because I had.
Yeah.
I really had. It was everything.
Yeah. And something else I remember of Gerks, when you went in, beautiful sand beach, but when you got into the water, there was a bunch of big rocks right there, and you kind of have to traverse over them till you got into the deeper water and dove in, and again, we didn't care. We were having a ball.
Didn't Gerks have horses at one time? Do you remember that?
I
Maybe
don't
it was before
remember
your
horses.
time.
It could have been before me. But trampolines, they ruled.
I never got to go on those.
Yeah.
Didn't get to do a lot of
Well,
stuff.
my parents couldn't wait for me to go out the door in the morning. Head injury? We don't care.
How would we know?
Well, I think some people have a pretty good idea, Mary.
Yeah. But another thing from this map, what's interesting to me is how, first of all, these resorts were scattered on all the lakes. Second of all, how they kind of clumped together too, that there were areas where there were more. Orleans had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ma and pa resorts. Over on the west shore of West Okoboji Lake was like little resort territory.
Yeah.
The north end of West Lake, and of course at the bridge between the lakes.
Yeah.
Just lots and lots of them.
Yeah.
There was another boom period for these little resorts, and that was right after the war. And that's actually when Vacation Village came to be, too. It was a post-war
right
sort
after,
of...
right after 45.
When people
then.
started having the means to be able to go away on vacation.
Right.
I sort of had the picture of June Cleaver in my mind. It was mom and dad packing up the car to take the kids to the lakes for the summer. It was great fun. But, there aren't very many of these around now.
Yeah.
And that saddens me.
Well,
it does.
It does. It was inexpensive. You could take your family of 5 or whatever it was and stay for a week. And now a lot of you bought a lot of your own groceries and cooked for yourself. So you weren't going out to dinner every night and then go to the amusement park. And
Trainorama.
And Trainorama.
And the Pancake House.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Those were high spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I wonder what happened to all of these little cabins. What's your thought? What do you think happened?
Well, the 70s and 80s were not good to the Lakes region. Late 70s, interest rates, unemployment, and I suppose these things aged, and maybe families were like, I'm getting too old to run these cabins every year, and probably got sold away from. How about you? What do you?
My thought is that the land became so valuable and taxes so high that the ma and pa resorts, they couldn't maintain themselves, and a rich dude would come with cash in hand, and there would go the ma and pa resort.
Well, and I was thinking more of the early to mid 80s during the farm crisis, and when things were really tough in Iowa. So I can't say. There's probably someone much smarter than I with more knowledge that can say for sure. But the fact is, very few of these, a handful that are still around.
I'm so glad that at least a handful are still around.
Whether it's same owners but with the same name, it holds on to that.
The identity.
Yeah.
The sense of home.
Yeah.
And I guess I would invite people to come here to the museum to see some of the exhibits we have that highlight some of the smaller resorts. Also, I'd like to invite people to take a look at this book. It's one of my favorite books about the area. Last Resorts of the Iowa Great Lakes by Jonathan Reed. He did just a masterful job of finding photographs of the different small resorts and also giving a little bit of the story of these small resorts that just aren't around anymore. And in doing so has helped us just kind of remember a bit what it was. And I just have to say that this beach that is pictured here Vacation Village Beach. I might be in there. I should check that out.
You could be in there, yeah.
And the Queen
going by.
The Queen used to come to different resorts. I know she came to Vacation Village and she came to the inn.
Yeah.
So you could hop on her too.
Have to give Jonathan kudos for looking so hard to find pictures. Think of all over the years that have been lost, Mary, that, families took a lot of the photos and got them developed, and then people pass away, and what are we going to do with all these?
Yeah.
And a lot of images, memories of Okoboji. So thank you to Jonathan for
and for doing such a good job of bringing this all together in this book. So these books are for sale at many of the gift shops around the area. Yep. We have them here at the museum too. And
if you've got memories of decades ago in Okoboji and where you stayed, or maybe you can't remember, maybe it was Cool Crest, and that book will take you back to where you were in that year. So
that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Well, very good. Okay, anything coming up here at the museum? Any events? Of course, way back
tonight.
Tonight
we have an open house for members only, where we are going to give people gloves to put on their hands and let them kind of see behind the scenes and in the cases, up close and personal. A lot of our objects, we're going to have people here talking about the different exhibits, and we're even going to have a little dessert afterwards out in front of the depot.
I used to have a members only jacket. Do I count?
Well, Jeff, if you'd like
how
to come,
many
you
decades ago
can.
was that? Well, wonderful. Of course, way back Wednesdays. Don't forget about those.
Yep. Today the conversation was on the Floaty Mansion, and as always, it was amazing. Frank does a great job of researching and just getting the conversation started, and then the stories roll.
Yeah, so a lot of stories right here at the Dickinson County Museum.
That's right.
You have to just walk around and take a look at them, and they'll come to life for you. Mary, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you, Jeff.
Mary Dreier again here from our Dickinson County Museum. History comes alive here, folks, and you'll come alive when you come through those front doors. We want to thank Mary for her time. We thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you in part by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. The headquarters of the University of Okoboji is at the Three Sons, open Monday through Saturday 10 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 4. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and a Vera partner. Ruthven Locker at the lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji.